Hi, well, welcome to week 2. It's been 5 days since we posted the last video, so we've had lots of opportunity this week to work with Casey and get things started with his program. So we only have a small amount of time in these video blogs really to describe all of the things that we are going to do with him. So I've selected a few of the videos that I think might be good for you guys to watch to see some of his progress this week. One of the things that we really wanted to focus on in the first week and on an ongoing basis was Casey's ability to be more spontaneous with his language, to be able to initiate to us about things he wanted and not to grab our hands or to kind of wait for us to do something, but just to really fluently use his words. So we've been spending a lot of time this week setting up lots and lots of different situations where we've got things that he wants, be it toys or activities, where he's having a very frequently request for those using sentences. So I got 3 videos to share with you of those activities. The first one is just a simple activity. I noticed on the first day that he really liked the Lego, and in particular he loved these little flowers to stick on the green grass that we'd done as a sort of toy play activity on the first day. So this is a video of me, and it's very simple. Basically, I've got all of the flowers that he might want to put on the Lego, and I'm getting him to request using a sentence to ask for those items. Let's take a look. The green one.
Blue one.
I want the blue one.
Blue one.
I want the blue one.
Blue. Orange one.
I want the orange one. I want the orange one. Smart pants.
Yellow.
I want the yellow one.
Yellow one.
Okay, I want the yellow one.
I want the red one.
I want the red one. Okay, so you can see he's still needing some help. He doesn't always use a full sentence, but he's doing quite well and is quite spontaneous with some of those phrases in the video, which is really good. Here's another video which is around him seeking for help, because the other thing that he didn't really use was the word help or know how to use that in a phrase. So we've been setting up a lot of situations for him where he's been having a request for help very, very often. In this video, you'll see Ivy, and she's deliberately done the top of the puzzle container really, really tightly, and he's going to go try to open it but can't do it. Now, in addition, Ivy also kind of fades to the side to see if he'll get up and come to her to ask for help. Let's have a look at that.
Help me open.
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 Help me open. Sure, Casey. There.
Okay, it's good. He wasn't super fluent, but he's, again, it's only the first week, but you can see it was great. He came over to Ivy and used the right phrases in terms of what we've been teaching him, which is really nice. So aside from all of these activities that we deliberately set up and facilitate to have lots and lots of repetition in, we also try to take advantage of things that happen spontaneously in the session. And this is a nice video where Ray was working with him and he was making a face and he seemed interested in that and had made a comment, and they turned it into kind of a game where he had to initiate what kind of face that Ray needed to pull, and it was really something quite spontaneous that just happened in the session. But it's important to try to take advantage of those opportunities also to capture the students' motivation and interest. Let's have a look at that video.
Happy mouth.
Happy
So
mouth.
happy. Yes, a smiley face.
Sad.
Sad.
Look at my face.
Happy face.
Okay, so as well as doing a lot of these communication temptation kinds of activities throughout the sessions in natural settings and also during the work, I also wanted to look at another few areas of Casey's development. One was that you noticed in the baseline videos that sometimes he would kind of space out, he would just sort of look distant and not respond occasionally. I really wanted to look at that and try to address that in the session. And I also wanted to start to look at some of the skills he wasn't so fluent with in the beginning. So we wanted to do some labeling, which was basically him labeling some objects or some actions to see where he was with that and start to get those going as some curriculum beginners. And we also wanted to look at some activities that might drive his attention, self-directed attention, and him to really kind of like direct us a bit more in the session. I didn't want to use a token economy. A lot of people might move to sort of start with him with, doing some maybe token economy. I didn't think he really needed that. He was certainly quite engaged when he was working with us, quite socially open. So I didn't want to try to use a lot of external reinforcement. I wanted to try to use the activities that we did with him as the reason why he would be learning the skills, if I could do that. And I wanted to impact lots and lots of social kind of reinforcement into the sessions that I felt he would enjoy, which would be a much better way to go with him. So we tried that out this week. I'll show you a couple of the activities we did. This is a labeling activity, and he likes animals, and so we had found this pig, a pink pig, and basically the activity is to post the labels into the pig. And he also gets to choose the labels, and I incorporate also some sort of communication temptation activities into the labeling activity so that we can also incorporate more skills. But he has to direct me as we go through this activity. Let's take a look. I'm going to teach you another activity now. Ready? We've got some more cards. All right, say put it down. Put it down. Say put it down. 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 All right, now I want you to say, pick a card. Pick a card. It's a bird. Okay, and then we post it in the pig. Say, pick a card. Ah, oops. Boom. Pick a card. Yeah. Pig. Put the pig in the pig. Okay, so he's still needing quite a few prompts in that activity. I still have to maybe occasionally guide him, and he sometimes doesn't quite know what to do. Here's a more recent video at the end of the 5 days of a very similar one where we're putting some objects, he's labeling objects to put into a car, which he also likes. So let's have a look how he's doing by the end of the week.
Put it in the truck.
Sure.
Get the food.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the truck.
Right.
Get the bed.
Here.
Put it in the truck.
Sure.
Get the pizza.
Pizza?
Put it in the truck.
All right.
Get the cookie.
Cookie.
Not this one.
Not this one, all right.
So you can see much more fluent, very engaged, paying great attention, which is all of the things that we wanted. Very initiative to Wing, his therapist, in that video, which is really, really good. Okay, here's another video. We also worked on verbs because we knew that maybe we weren't quite sure how strong he was using like action words. So here's another activity where we were working with him on, again, initiating to us and labeling actions on the table. You'll notice the field is quite big. This is more towards the end of the first week. He's paying great attention. We're using pointing as an indicator rather than a verbal instruction, and he's got to drive this activity also. Let's take a look at that.
Take the ball.
Nice, you're right.
Hugging.
Very good, they were hugging. This one.
Cooking.
Nice, good job, buddy. This one.
Going.
Wow, superstar. This one.
Kissing.
You're amazing. That one.
Reading book.
Very good. This one.
Drinking.
Wow, awesome job. She's drinking, you're right. Very good.
Riding bicycle.
Yes, very awesome.
Wash your hands.
Yes, look, Casey, we are.
Finish.
Yes, let's go play, buddy.
As well as labeling, I mentioned that we wanted to do some matching with him, right? In terms of working on his ability to match things with things, work on scanning a larger field, dealing with holding items and not sort of stopping and looking at them, finishing tasks independently. So we came up with a few activities. This is me working with him. And I started with the objects on plates. Now, I'd noticed earlier in the week that he quite was interested in this bell. And when we rang this bell, he thought it was really fun and interesting. So I tried to incorporate that as part of the activity. So that when he wanted me to start, he rang the bell. So that, again, he needs to initiate to me to start the activities and really drive the process. So here's a video of him doing some matching with the objects on the plates. Boom! Got pizza. Good. There we go. Banana. Good. Got the carrot. All right, in the next video, it was just, where we went to, I'd start to take away the plates because they're kind of a prompt or some help as to him to know where to put the items. So we take those away. And I also incorporate him labeling the activity. Actually, he's more requesting for it in this example because I'm not going to give him the item until he says it and I give it to him to go match. So I try to also incorporate some language. Initiation in this activity along with the bow, and you can see again he's very on task, very into this kind of fun activity. Tracks. Yep, they go there. Oh, oranges. Yeah, nice. Good. They go there and bananas. Carrots for the rabbit. Orange. Okay, the next phase was us working with trying to implement some cards because as you saw in the baseline video, he wasn't able to really match cards before. So I keep some of the objects out to kind of get him going, and he knows how to match the objects. And then we put some cards. So you'll see him now matching some cards. And I also start to work on him sorting, which is where he gets 2 objects at a time and has to put them with the items, which is a little bit more of a difficult task, requires a bit more concentration, a bit more scanning and organization. I also get him, rather than to request the things from me, he's just now labeling them so that when he sees the items, he'll say what they are before he goes to match them. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so let's do this quick. Ready? Go! Train tracks. Let's put those away. Yep. Ooh, find this one. Fish. Good. Nice. Okay, let's find these 2.
Banana and pizza.
Banana and pizza. Wow! High five! Look, we're... Okay, and then finally we got to just, having a really large field of cards. Again, we're matching animals in this example because he really likes the animals. And you can see him labeling and also matching those in a pretty large field, which is great. Good improvement from the first day. All right. Lion. Good. Yeah. Pig. Monkey. Rabbit. Fish. Okay, so I hope that gives you a little bit of a snapshot of some of the work we've been doing this week. It's not all of the programs for sure. We've been doing a lot of other little things, which I'm sure I can show you a bit more of next week. But it does, look at some of the core issues we were having, wanting to get him super engaged. We were trying not to use much external reinforcement, trying to create lots of fun activities and games for him. and he certainly looks very, very engaged and into what we're up to. He's taken on board a lot of the instructional sequences that we're doing, and I think we're in a really, really good place for the first 5 days. There's got a lot more curriculum to teach next week, so please join us next week for another installment, and we'll show you all of the wonderful programs we've got going next week and how Casey's doing. Okay, thank you very much.